What's going on, guys? Mike here, bringing you a tutorial today for Super Meat Boy any percent speedrunning category. Now, you don't normally see a lot of tutorial videos for speedrunning, but I figured Super Meat Boy being the kind of fast-paced and technical game that it is, I figured I'd go ahead and release a video series for people who are interested in getting into speedrunning the game, or for those who are already speedrunning the game and looking for little tips and tricks on certain levels in order to increase their overall time or decrease their overall time. And I figured since I was one of the better players of Super Meat Boy with an any percent time of 1937, that I would go ahead and create a video for people and help anyone who needs help, and just for anyone who wants to watch and maybe even talk up the Super Meat Boy community a little bit, because I think we need more runners. And, you know, it's been growing back up again. So come on down, speedrun, watch the video, and let's jump right into it, guys. Alright, guys, welcome to Chapter 1, The Forest. This is the chapter that's going to set the pace for your speedrun, so you're really going to want to aim for a good time here. Now, depending on what time you split, you know, some people split as soon as they see the chapter complete screen, some people split as soon as you leave the forest and enter the hospital, which is Chapter 2. For my sake, and for the splits I use, I split as soon as I see chapter complete. So the time you're going to want to get overall for your Chapter 1 split is going to be around under the 2-minute 10-second mark, I would say, for those of you who are just starting. And for more of the advanced players, you're going to want to probably get under 2:05 or 2:06. For me, I aim for around a 2:03, 2:02 mark. But that's just what I aim for. And just to keep in mind, guys, when you're timing, you want to start your timer as soon as you press start game. If you're doing your times from here, which is as soon as you enter World 1, it's going to be, you're going to have to add 6 seconds onto your time, because that's generally how long it takes to get to this intro part. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to do a run for you guys, show you what it looks like, and then after the run, I'll break down each level for you, and we'll go from there. And, you know, I'll talk about some tricks and stuff that are used, and, you know, maybe some little input commands that'll be helpful for you. Alright, guys, let's get into it. Alright, guys, well, that's a run that I would normally keep. It went pretty solid. I had a few mistakes towards the end and a lucky wall slide, but overall it went pretty well. And the first thing you'll notice here is I do skip levels 15, 19, and 20. For those that are new, you only need to complete 17 levels on chapters 1 through 5 in order to unlock the boss. So your goal is to pick the 17 of the fastest levels. Now, arguably, it could potentially be slightly faster, I guess, if you don't map out and you don't have like perfect, you know, map movement, to do 15, 16, and 17. But 15, there's kind of a risk on it in order for it to do it fast, so that's why it's mostly skipped. And 18 is a 2-second level, so you're generally skipping 15, 19, and 20. That has pretty much been the standard for quite some time, and that's the standard we're going to stick with. So now we're going to jump into individual levels here. You know, I'll play through them a few times, talk over how they go, and yeah, hope you enjoy. Alright guys, level 1-1. Very simple. As soon as you spawn, you're going to hold left, and you're going to make a quick double jump right off the wall. I'll do it a few times just so you can see. So it's 2 quick A inputs. Hold left, hold your sprint. For the majority of these levels, you're always going to be holding your sprint, turbo, dash, whatever you want to call it. If you're using a controller, I would highly recommend using your right trigger. This is an Xbox 360 controller. Using your right trigger for turbo. A lot of people use X. The problem with X is your thumb is going to get very tired very fast as the run goes on. So that's generally what you're going to do. I mean, with the time you're aiming for, it's really nothing special. 103, 104. If you can get sub 1, that's good. But again, that's what it's going to look like. Alright guys, for level 1-2, it's more of the same. You're going to hold left, and you're going to jump off of the left platform right there, and then do a jump off that wall, and slide up. After you make the jump off of this right wall, while holding your jump and your turbo, your dash, you're going to hold right on the control stick, or you're going to hold your right directional, and you'll slide right up and right into Bandage Girl. There you go. Alright guys, not much to say on 1-3. Hold your turbo, hold right, and jump. That's pretty much it. The main point that you're going to want to hit Bandage Girl is actually on the left corner of her if you can. It's the way you're going to get the fastest time on the level. But other than that, it's just a jump right into her. Alright guys, now we're going to start getting into where the run starts to take a turn, at least in difficulty. For 1-4, you're going to be looking at doing 3 quick wall jumps, and then you're going to be wall jumping back and forth upwards to Bandage Girl in order to keep your speed. It's going to take a little bit of time to get used to, because you want to do your jumps in a way where you can continue your momentum. You know, if you just do quick jumps all the way up, you're actually going to move slower like this. You're going to move slower overall. So you want to do long stride slide jumps. And also, if you notice in that little part that we just went through, when you jump off this right wall here, right over here, you're going to want to land without touching any of these walls. Now, in order to do that, you're going to need to hold right on your jump after you jump left. It's a little bit hard to explain, but when you do it, you'll see, as you see, I turn backwards in order to make the fall. You're also going to want to let go of your jump at the right time, which is generally right before you're going to enter the little hole there. Again, it's going to be a feel to get used to, but if you can get used to it, it is a little time saver. If you hit the wall, such as this, it's not the end of the world. It's not really going to cost you that much time. We're talking fractions of a second there. But overall, that's how you do it. Alright guys, 1-5. This is where we're going to be taking our first risky jump, if you would like to call it that. So what you're going to want to do is just get up top here, just like that. And you're going to want to land as close to this platform as possible, or to this wall. I mean, you don't want to like land out here and then have to jump all the way back, or you don't want to get like one of those float jumps like this. If you get a float jump like this, you're actually wasting a good half a second, almost a full second. So yeah, you're going to want to land here. Then for beginners, or what I would suggest doing to start out, is just doing a jump up the wall like that. It's simply just hold jump and hold right on the control stick. So you're going to do a jump here and then just do 3 cross jumps right to Bandage Girl. Your main goal is to land on that little ledge right above the warp zone area. If you can land on that little ledge, you'll get a nice boost and you'll be able to jump right to Bandage Girl without having to circle around like this. Or just fall down the level like that. Now there is another way to do it, which is faster than hitting your same wall. It requires you to jump across early. You're going to jump here, and you're going to be using your slide boosting up the wall in order to get you right to the perfect height in order to make that ledge. It's faster, more risky, because if you don't get the correct height on the jump, or you don't slide up the wall the right amount, you're going to hit that warp zone. So, again, you just got to feel for it. Once you get the feel of where you need to jump and how much you need to slide, you'll be able to move a little bit faster. There is also an advanced trick on this level, which I don't necessarily recommend. Unless, like, I mean, I guess you can go for it. There's really no risk in the beginning. But when you first spawn, if you hold right in your sprint and you time A and you time your jump right at the start, you'll be able to fall and do a jump right off this starting platform like that. And this actually saves a good amount of time because then you only have to take 2 wall jumps. As you can see there, we did that level fairly quickly. And also I just do 2 wall jumps and then it's all cross jumping from there. You can get this level in sub 5 if that happens, so it does save a good amount of time. Alright guys, next up is 1-6. It's a very straightforward level. It's pretty much just jumping from wall to wall and climbing your way up the stage. This would be the starter way to do it in my opinion. It's definitely the safest route to go without having to worry about clipping any of the walls or hitting the saw like that. Now, there is a more advanced way to do it, and that requires jumping from the first wall all the way to the second wall and boosting yourself up like that. It does save time, as you can see. It's a little bit harder, in my opinion, based on where you need to be standing and where you need to start your jump off, and you need to get pretty much a clean jump off the wall in order for it to be quick. But those are your 2 methods. Like I said, I would suggest the first one for those of you who are just starting out or aren't comfortable with your, clean jumping from wall to wall maneuvers. But either one of those will work. Alright guys, here we are, 1-7, a very simple level for actually being the 7th one and seeing the technical stuff we had to do past that. All you're going to be doing is climbing this wall up here, jumping up, and right over to Bandage Girl. There's really nothing to this. I mean, I guess the faster you get up the wall, the better, obviously. So, I mean, if you could take your jumps a little bit shorter than normal, or if you can get a lucky slide jump, which is actually very like that. If you can get a lucky slide jump like that, you're actually in business. But there's really no point going for it, especially because the slide jump really doesn't save that much time. But yeah, that's your 1-7. (1-8), another very simple level. All you're really going to be doing is taking a jump off the left wall and jumping all the way over to Bandage Girl. And dying like that, apparently. You need to make sure you don't jump. If you get a double jump too low on this wall, like here, you're not going to make it all the way over, and you're going to die to that saw. So you just want to make sure you're a healthy amount up the wall. For those of you who want to do wall slides up and jump about halfway up the wall, that'll work as well. Or you can do like a standard jump from the start. If you're quick enough, you can actually get Meat Boy to jump right at the start and get a fast time like that. But overall, left wall jump, right over the Bandage Girl. Right, moving right along, we're here on 1-9. Another very simple level. You're pretty much going to climb up this wall and climb up that wall. There's really no risk of dying on this stage, to be honest. And there's really no other alternative way to do it that I can think of. You can do like quick little jumps up here if you're fast enough. It will save a little bit more time, I believe. I may be wrong on that. But it's a little bit more risky to go for, and I really don't recommend it. I recommend just doing your basic wall jump up top here and being good to go. The only thing is you want to make sure you get the right amount of height up here, otherwise you're going to clip that ledge like I did. Clipping the ledge, not the end of the world. You're not going to die from it, but you will end up losing a little bit of time. Alright, we're going to be moving on to 1-10 here. Another very simple level, actually. You're just going to be breaking these blocks and jumping over them. You're not going to want to break too many of them, and your goal is to go through the block like right as it pretty much disappears. As soon as the block breaks down, the faster you can get through it, the better. And you don't want to run into the wall like that, because that you'll obviously lose time. Now, there is a more technical way to do this, a technical strat, I should say, in order to do that level, and it involves jumping off a block on the bottom. Like I said, it doesn't really save that much time, and it's a little bit more technical to go for, and if you mess up, it does cost you a little bit of time. So I would recommend just going, break 2 blocks, slide down a little bit, and then just jump over and across. Alright, 1-11. 1-11 requires a jump at the top off of this breaking block to go up and jump off of that so you don't have to go around. Now, the jump at the top, when you're jumping off, you're going to want to hold right at the start of your jump before, if you hold directly left, you'll see it, I'll just jump all the way across. So you're going to want to stall your jump. So at the start of your jump, you're going to want to hold right for about I would say about, maybe, it's going to be hard to say, a little bit less than like half a second, just so it boosts you up a little bit. And that's pretty much it. You're just going to want to make sure you get high enough on that block that's going to break. Because if you're too low like this, oh, well, you'll still make it, actually. It's a little bit trickier, I would say. Only because if you're too low, you need to make sure you get the jump right off. Otherwise, you'll fall down like that. So, again, just go complete it one more time for you. Make sure you stall your jump at the top and jump right over. Alright guys, 1-12, the dreaded saw skip. It's actually not as hard as some people may think. So what you're going to do is you're going to jump up here and you're going to slightly move to the right. So you're right on the edge. And then you're going to do what's known as a wiggle jump, which is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to wiggle left, wiggle right, wiggle back left onto the wall. And that'll get you right past the frames of the saw. Bam. I'm not going to hit Glitch Girl. Now, there is a way that I do it that's a little bit faster. At the start, you're just going to run right, and you see how you slide down a little bit on that wall? Well, you're going to want to jump just about as soon as you hit the wall, maybe right as you start to descend. And you'll see if you do a little wiggle at the top, you'll be able to maneuver yourself to go right in between the saw and the wall, and then just wall jump up. It is faster than doing the little setup jump. It is a little bit riskier, but once you get the timing down, you'll be able to do it, you know, hundreds of times in a row without a problem. So, those are your two strats. Alright guys, 113. A very simple level. In order to explain it though, I'm just going to die just so you can see it from the beginning. It's just a series of small wall jumps that you don't want to hit that saw on. And you're just going to come up and jump up and around the saw. It's fairly simple to do, I would say. You just need to make sure you get the timing right so you're not hitting any of the ledges or any of the corners of the wall. If you hit the corners of the wall, you're going to slow yourself down and the saws might not be in the ideal location. Now, going left is faster than going right because doing a wall jump across actually gives you more speed. The only thing with going left is you have to make sure you get high enough on the wall on the right side in order to make that jump. If you get high enough on the wall on the right side, you're good to go. But either way will work and complete the level for you. Right, here we are, 114. This is going to be the level that you exit to the map on as soon as you hit Bandage Girl. So remember, you're skipping 115. This level is very simple. You're just going to be climbing up the wall and avoiding the saws as best as possible. It really requires just a series of cross jumps in the beginning. And you're just going to want to make sure you slide up high enough on that left wall. Otherwise, when you go to jump on this side, you're going to clip. So the visual cue that I like for this level is to make sure you slide right where the little gray texture starts. As long as you're under that, like a little bit, I would say as long as you're within one Meat Boy width under it, you'll be good. You can get closer to it, but again, if you get too close, you're going to hit that top saw. So I would say about right at the top of your slide, right about there, is where you want to get your jump across, and just do a series of cross jumps up, over, and you're going to want to fall off the wall. So when you're sliding down from that little right wall, just hold left, and you'll fall right off of it and right into Bandage Girl. Alright, 116, a level that requires a little bit of prep before you get into it. What I mean by that is, while you're entering the level, make sure you have turbo and right directional held before you enter the level. The reason is, if you don't, you're not going to be able to make that first saw. For instance, let's say we don't have it and we do it like that. That's how you're going to want it to be done. Now, if you're not holding right, this is what's going to happen. You're gonna spawn, and then the saw is going to hit you on the way down. So just make sure you're buffering right. And, ooh, I got a lucky little slide jump there. What do you know? Make sure you're buffering right, and then you're just going to do a bunch of little cross jumps. And the ending is where it gets a little tricky. You have two options on the end. One is to do a jump off the platform like that, or another is to just let yourself fall, and you can run right to it. The jump is faster. It doesn't really require any prep, and there's really no negatives to going for it. So I would suggest going for the jump if you can. Little pop right off. And there you go. Right, now we're going to be moving on to 117. Look at this, we're almost done. We only got 2 levels to go. So 117, again, it's just a series of wall jumps coming up here. You're going to want to, now, this is where you have two options. You can either land on this little corner here to jump up and over to Bandage Girl, or if you're high enough on your jump, you can actually get up, like this. I'm actually not really sure which way is faster. I've always gone with the little wall jump, just because I feel like it's more consistent for me. Getting up high is not really my objective to do it. Now, when you get to the top here, there are two different ways you can go about getting here. You can cross jump like that to get to Bandage Girl, so up and over like that. Or the more advanced way and the faster way is when you're coming up here, you can do like a loop around jump, which you have to swing yourself outwards and then get up. Now, the thing with this is if you have to take an extra jump off the wall, it's slower than if you just jumped across like that. So you really need to find that height to get up and over. I'm actually pretty terrible at it, which is why I don't go for it. But for those of you who are adventurous and want to go for it, that is what you can do. So we'll do it one more time here. Here you have it. And the final level here before the boss, 118. This level, it's a little bit more, I guess, scarier than it actually is. I'll just die here so you can see. There are two ways to do it. The first way is jumping to that middle platform and doing a stall. So you have to do a little stall at the top, which requires you to hold left right before you hit the platform, and then hold right again in order to pick your speed back up. This is so you don't hit that stall like that when you go right for the jump. So that's one way to do it. The second way to do it, it's a little bit more advanced, and it saves like 0.1 second. It's kind of funny how much time it saves. But it requires you to jump from the first platform all the way to the third platform. Like I said, it's a little bit more technical with how long you need to hold your jumps for, but it is faster if you can get it. So if you're more of an experienced runner and more someone who's really going to try to beat their time, I would really suggest this strat. It really doesn't go any faster than that, to be honest. Like I said, it requires little short jumps and releasing your jump at the proper time. Alright guys, and now we are up to the boss, Lil Slugger. Very simple boss. There's really nothing technical about him. I will go ahead and show you the boss in case you're interested. First you could do, jump right over those first two saws. Then you're just going to be jumping in between these. Do a little wall jump here to get through those break blocks. Here you're going to let go of your turbo just to wait for the saw cycles. Again, break these two. And you're through. Really not much to say. You do have two hiding spots. You can hide in this bottom corner here, or you can hide up top there. I like the bottom corner just because it's something that not everybody does. But there you guys have it. That is your Chapter 1 Forest tutorial going over each of the stages. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys learned a few things. For those of you who really like this series, please let me know in the comments below. If there's any other tips you want to know for maybe even some other stages, how to do some other stages faster, like the ones I didn't cover, 15, 19, and 20. I can, maybe I'll do a video, or I can do a private video and show you how to do it. Or, to be honest, you can watch EXOSDA, EXOSDA, and just type in the level that you want, and he pretty much shows you the best way to do those levels. Now, before you go ahead and do that, let me just explain something before you watch those videos. EXOSDA does ILs as well as runs, but all the videos you see on YouTube that are not runs, that are just individual levels, those are ILs, which are individual levels. And the goal of those is to do the level as fast as possible. Now, doing the level as fast as possible is not the same as, doing a run as fast as possible. Because a lot of those levels require tricks that you die hundreds and hundreds of times on in order to increase your time by like 0.2 seconds. So just be careful when you're watching some videos. The way I did these levels here, and the way I explained them to you, and the way you saw it in the run I did previously, before I went into the explanations, is how you're going to want to do the level. Maybe there are some other risks that you could possibly take if you're going to try to increase your overall time. However, I don't suggest it, especially for someone who's just starting out. If you try to go for these insane strats when you're just starting out, you're going to get frustrated and you're not going to want to play the game. Trust me, guys. I've been running this game for just about 6 months, and trust me, you don't want to take the super technical way. The big thing is consistency before, you know, harder strats. So if you can consistently get sub 25, sub 25, sub 25, then add in one strat in order to get that sub 24, or add in a few strats in order to get that sub 24. So there you guys have it. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the series, and I'll see you guys in Chapter 2. Later.